the Jay Graves Report, College Football Weekly Wrap-Up, Week 1. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Let's get down to College Station, Texas, where Rice takes on number 7, Texas A&M. And old Johnny Football, y'all know he was suspended for the first half, so old boy was out in the parking lot tailgating, getting it in with all the locals, getting it in. Now, second half, Johnny Football comes in, goes 6 of 8, 94 yards and 3 touchdowns. Every time he scored a touchdown, he giving boys the money signal. He was telling boys, hey fella, tell your mama to come over because I got some bread for her. If you don't like it, keep me out the end zone. Johnny Football did his thing. Now, the only problem I had with Johnny Football over the weekend is when Kevin Sumlin tried to talk to him, he walked on past it. But let's keep it real, all the way 100, whichever comes first. It ain't on Summy, the city. Because now that he's making the university all this bread, that $5-6 million a pop that the boosters are giving, the boosters calling the shot on that. Somebody just getting drug along. There's nothing he can do. Let's move on to the next ball game because Texas A&M put up 52 points, beat them 52-31. Let's move to the next ball game. Let's go down to Houston, Texas, where number 13, Oklahoma State, played on dumb Mississippi State and the Cowbells this weekend. Hey, now, I fell for the okie doke. I hear all these boys all the time hollering and screaming this dumb argument. The 5th or 6th best team in the SEC could beat the best teams in the Big 12. Now, or any other conference. Well, Oklahoma State ain't even one of the best teams in the Big 12. They was 8-6, 8-5 last year. Didn't know which quarterback they was going to start, etc. Came in and beat the brakes off of Mississippi State and the Cowbells. Beat them 21-3. So for the rest of the season, I don't want to hear anybody talking about the 5th or 6th best team in the SEC could beat the better teams in other conferences when Mississippi State is Mississippi State. Now let's move on to the next ball game. Let's go down to the Big D. All the big games was in Texas, seemed like this weekend. You had LSU playing TCU. Now, I knew going into this ball game, TCU didn't have enough depth to hang in there with LSU. But let's be real. Let's be honest. TCU hung in there for most of the ball game. They ended up losing this ball game 37-27. And old Zach Mettenberger finally figured out how to throw the ball over his shoulder, put up 251 yards in the air. I mean, this may be a turning point for LSU if Zach Mettenberger can throw the ball consistently all season. So now, let's move on to the A. Number 1 Alabama shows up to play old Vatek. Vatek came in, didn't know who they were and what they were. But I tell you what, Vatek's defense played an excellent ball game. They only gave up 14 points defensively. But they made mistakes in the special team and gave up a pick-6 interception. They gave up, Christian Jones went 85 yards on a punt, then went 95 yards on a kickoff return, and then they gave up a pick 6. That's 21 points. You cannot play a ball game or a ball club as good and as disciplined as Alabama and make mistakes. They held T.J. Yeldon and A.J. McCarron in check all night. But they gave up 21 points that you can't get back. Because old Nick Saban got everybody in check. He got to play so disciplined that boys are just going to play the game and allow the mistakes to come to them. That's Alabama football. It is what it is. So go ahead, like I said before, wrap the little ball up and ship it FedEx to Tuscaloosa, because that's where it's going to end up at the end of the season. Everybody else is just playing for the sake of playing. Now, let's move on to the next ball game, the big ball game. Number 5, Georgia, goes down to Death Valley, plays number 8, Clemson. Now, like I said before, let's see it with me. Georgia is Mark Richt's Georgia. They always gonna fall apart in big ball games, and that's what they did in this one here. They played these boys to the rope, and at the end of the game, it was Doug. Todd's boys came out there. He put 3 in the air, scored 3 in the air, and 2 on the ground. So it was 3 by air, 2 by land. I swear I saw Doug Paul Revere riding around the stadium with Howard's Rock in his hand, telling you boys, I told you boys, but you wouldn't listen, that Georgia is Mark Rick's Georgia. Hey, keep up with your man. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your boy.